Hi, I'm Pat Brunner with Riverside Mortgage Group. I spend a lot of my time meeting with first-time home buyers, and one of the first things that we always cover is how much money will I need to buy a house? So I wanted to take a minute and go over some of the basics about how much money it takes to buy a property. So when we talk about how much money we need for a purchase transaction, there's a few components that we look at. The first thing is, what's the required down payment? Then, how much are closing costs? Is the seller willing to pay any of those closing costs? When we look at all those together, we can come up with the amount of cash needed for settlement. Depending on the loan product, the minimum required down payment changes. In FHA financing, you need 3.5% down. Conventional financing, 5% down. And with USDA financing and VA financing, you can put as little as 0 down and finance the entire purchase of the property. Let's do an example with an FHA loan. A $250,000 purchase price. Our 3.5% minimum down payment would be $8,750. For this example, we're going to assume that this is a single home with $4,800 in annual property taxes. So now we've identified that the down payment is $8,750, and that puts our cash to close at $8,750. Next, let's look at closing costs. Typical closing costs: bank charges, somewhere around $1,000. Appraisal, $450. Title and recording, we're estimating $2,000 based on our purchase price in this example. Transfer tax, we're assuming a 1% transfer tax. That's $2,500 in our example. Escrow impounds. These are the funds that the bank puts into your escrow account to pay your taxes and insurance on your behalf at a later time. We're going to estimate $3,000 for escrow impounds. Reimbursements to the seller. The seller's paid some taxes in advance, and they'll need to be reimbursed for those. So maybe they've paid the school taxes through next school year, and you're reimbursing them for those taxes. We're going to estimate $2,600 for that. Per diem interest charges, $500. This is the interest charges per day from the date of settlement through the end of that month. Then your normal amortization schedule starts that following month. Homeowners insurance, we're going to assume $100 a month for homeowners insurance, or an annual premium of $1,200. That gives us a total closing costs of $13,250. So now we've identified down payment and what our closing costs are. If there's no seller's assistance, then the cash to close is $22,000. FHA financing allows for sellers to pay up to 6% of buyer's closing costs, which means on a $250,000 purchase, the seller can pay up to $15,000 of the buyer's closing costs. In our example, we don't even have that much in closing costs, so we would only need a seller's assist of $13,250. So now we've identified what our down payment is, what our closing costs are. Our real estate agent has negotiated with the seller for them to pay the full seller's assist to cover all closing costs. And that leaves our cash to close right back at the $8,750. If the seller is not able or willing to do a full seller's assist like that, then our cash to close is going to fall somewhere in that neighborhood between $8,750 and the $22,000 that it would cost if there was no seller's assist. So on a $250,000 property, you would need a total of $8,750 to be able to buy that property. The other thing that's interesting is that with FHA financing, all of that money can come from a gift. If you've got more questions on how this works and do you have enough money to buy a property, please feel free to contact me. And I look forward to any questions or comments about these fundamentals that we're addressing here today. As always, I appreciate your business and have a great day. Thanks so much.